looks not good. Guys, I'm gonna tell you a scary story. So, as I've mentioned before, I love haunted and paranormal things. As a kid, I always liked to play pretend, and I feel like when you believe in the paranormal, you're basically playing pretend, but as an adult. I haven't had many paranormal experiences that were significant, but there was this one time that if I've met you, you've probably heard the story. And if you don't want to believe me by me just telling you, I have video proof. So in my house, I've always had a couple rooms that just are not a good vibe. In the biggest bathroom in my house, I always get deja vu. Anytime I have deja vu, it's in that bathroom, and it's the same with my sister. Also, the lights flicker in there, but we have bad electrical, so that's probably why. But the room I'm in right now is my dad's office. He usually stays in there, and we don't come in here that often. All of the times that I have slept in here, it just feels off. Last year, like 9 days before my senior year of high school, I had a paranormal experience. The only reason I had to sleep in here is because I got COVID for the first and only time, and I had to isolate myself from everyone else that was in the house. So my sister set up a really cute Abby station. If I have a picture of it, I'll insert it right here. When I had COVID, I recorded every single day telling how I felt, because I felt like we were living through like a historical moment, and I wanted to capture that. On the 4th day, I was feeling a lot better. My throat was just scratchy and stuff, and I went to sleep around like 6 in the morning. I have a video of me explaining the story, but because I was in a lot of shock, I didn't explain it that well. When I went to sleep, I had a lucid dream and sleep paralysis. If you don't know what those are, basically lucid dreaming is when you're dreaming and you know that you're dreaming. And sleep paralysis is a little more complicated. I don't really know the scientific definition of it because every time I've had sleep paralysis, it's always been different. But basically, you get frozen. Some people see like a figure or like a sleep paralysis demon. I've only had that this one time. Every other sleep paralysis experiences that I've had, I haven't had any of that. Normally for me, my sleep paralysis happens when I have a nightmare, and lucid dreaming and sleep paralysis go hand in hand. So when I'm having a nightmare, I'll usually realize that I'm having a nightmare and I'm not actually awake, and then I can feel where my body is laying, and I have to try to move to wake myself up. Like I'll try to lift up my hand or whatever, but I never have my eyes open. I never see figures or see what's around me. It's usually I'm still in the nightmare, or it's complete blackness and I'm just trying to like move. But this time it was different. So when I fell asleep, I started to have a nightmare where I was in this exact room, exactly where I was. So I was laying here, like in real life, and in my dream, I was also laying there. So yeah, it was weird. My dog, Buster, was sleeping in there with me because he always slept with me every night. Ever since I was a kid, I would always keep the door closed because if I was sleeping, it felt unsafe to have the door open. I never really knew why. That's just like how I always felt. But this night, I kept my door open so my dog could go in and out of the room. I had a bad feeling about it before I went to sleep, but I just let it happen because I didn't want to deal with him going in and out. Outside of that door is my kitchen, and in my kitchen I have like tons of cabinets and whatever, and in my dream all of those cabinets just started banging, like all of them at the same time. And at this time I wasn't lucid dreaming yet, and I thought I was literally awake because I was in the same spot. I think during this I was half asleep, half awake because I knew exactly where my body was laying down, and I also felt like I could hear everything. During all of this, I couldn't see anything. In my nightmare, it was pitch black, like as if I was just closing my eyes and still awake. But I couldn't move my body, and I was literally paralyzed in fear. After the kitchen cabinets stopped banging, I heard someone walk into the door, into the room that I was sleeping in, this room. At this point, I still wasn't lucid dreaming. I didn't know that I was dreaming. I thought this was really happening because it just felt like I was laying in bed with my eyes closed. I did have the choice to open my eyes if I wanted to, but I didn't open my eyes because I was scared that whoever walked in was gonna see that I was awake and like hurt me. When I woke up, I was terrified. This is when I started to take videos. Buster, my dog, never barked. The only time he would ever bark is if he was looking out the window and saw something, but in general, he never really barked. He was quite a quiet dog. When I woke up, he was on the floor, right in front of the door, barking into the hallway. The same hallway that leads to the kitchen where all the cabinets were banging. Here is a video of him barking. He's been doing this for like 5-10 minutes. There's no one there. He's freaking me the fuck out. This went on for like 20 minutes. I have video proof of me trying to get him to stop barking. He would not stop barking. He would go right back where he was and keep barking. Buster, 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 stop. You're freaking me out. What are you barking at? I kept hearing weird noises from the kitchen where my dog was looking and barking, so I genuinely thought someone was in my house and that everything that I thought I was dreaming was actually real. I still don't know exactly if it was a dream. The only thing that really makes me think that is because I couldn't move, and if those cabinets were slamming like I thought they were, it would have woken up the rest of my family. And when I say the cabinets were slamming, I'm not talking about just like someone was in there like moving the cabinets. I mean every single cabinet and drawer was banging like all at the same time. Obviously if someone broke in, that couldn't have happened because they don't have like 10 arms. So when I took the video explaining what had happened, I didn't add all of what happened in my nightmare because I didn't think anyone was gonna see it, and I knew I was gonna remember it. That video was just for myself. But I do say a couple things that I don't remember now, but obviously when it just happened, I still remembered it. So I will show that now. I was like, I couldn't see anything, like I was blind. I was like passing out in my dream, and it was really weird. Buster wakes up because I'm moving around, and he gets up and he's like coughing and stuff, so I'm like, oh, okay, let me just go get him water because he was like coughing more than he usually does. I refill the water thing and he won't drink it at first, so I'm like, drink your freaking water. I'm like, okay, let's go back to bed because it's too early for this shit. I went to bed like an hour ago. And instead of getting on the couch with me, he literally just sits on the floor for like a while and he just starts barking. I just thought it was him being like funny. I was like, you just like the sound of your bark? What's going on? Usually like if I want him to stop barking, I'm just like, Buster, shut the fuck up, like stop barking. But no. He keeps going for like 20 minutes. So my dog finally stopped barking and I basically just stayed up even though I had only slept like an hour. That is not the only paranormal thing that's happened while sleeping in the office or just being in it. I was inspired to tell this story because obviously it's my most paranormal experience I've ever had, and it's really different from normal paranormal experiences. And also, literally yesterday and the day before, more paranormal things were happening to me. My parents are in Europe right now for 3 weeks, so I kind of have the house all to myself and my sister. I didn't want to sleep in my room and I wanted to watch YouTube on the big TV, so I came in here and slept in here. Before I went to sleep, I was just watching YouTube and I paused the video because I just wanted to think, and I felt like the YouTube video was like making it hard for me to think. So it was paused for like a good 5 minutes and it was completely silent in the whole house. My sister just got guinea pigs a couple days ago and they were still in the kitchen because she needed to find a space for them in her room. Guinea pigs have those like water tanks with the little like tube that they drink out of. And when they drink out of it, there's like a ball in it, so it'll make like tapping noises. And just because of that, that is why I don't have a video of what happened to me 2 days ago. Anyway, it was completely silent in the room, and I heard scratching on a wall right behind the couch. This wall right back here, I heard scratching on it. Obviously, paranormal was not my first thought, and I thought that maybe my ears were playing a trick on me, and the scratching was actually from the guinea pigs drinking the water. I was really confused on why it was so loud though, so I went to go check the guinea pigs to really make sure that it was my ears playing a trick on me. But when I went in the kitchen, the guinea pig was literally so far away from the water, wasn't drinking any water, was just laying there chilling out. So it wasn't that. And it also wasn't my cat, because my cat was in my room, which is on the completely other side of the house. I wish I could explain how terrifying it was. Also, the YouTube video that I was watching and I had paused was a haunted video. I know that sometimes haunted things can be trapped in movies and videos and stuff, so that could have been the case. But it was as if someone had their hand just scratching the wall, and it was too organic to be a house sound. Like the house settling noises, they don't sound that organic. It was a living thing making that noise. But yeah, and then I came back into the room and it just stopped, and it didn't happen for the rest of the night. The only explanation for that is something paranormal happened, or there's a mouse living in the walls. We've never had that problem before, and on the other side of this wall, it's just brick, it's the outside of the house. So, I mean, it could have happened, but I doubt it. For the other paranormal thing that happened just yesterday, I also have video proof. I don't have video proof of it actually happening, but I have video proof of moments after when I was still terrified. So I clean Airbnbs as a job, and my uncle owns an Airbnb. I've cleaned it for 3 or 4 years and I've never had any issues with it. But my sister basically cleans the downstairs and I clean the upstairs. In the upstairs bedroom, there are 3 or 4 of these folding closets. All of the closets were open, which is weird. That doesn't really happen, but obviously it's just from the other guests, opening all the closets for some reason. I have a thing about closets because when I was in middle school, I had this phase where I put my mirror in my closet because mirrors are known to be portals for ghosts and stuff. So when I went to sleep, I could just close my closet and my mirror would be covered. That's unrelated, but I just wanted to say that. Anyway, I went to go take a duvet cover off of a duvet to wash it, and there's a chair next to one of the closets that I put the duvet on. I was still standing a foot away from the closet, so none of my motions could have moved the closet. As I was taking the duvet cover off, the closet door that was already slightly open just folded, open more. The only reasonable explanation I could find with this is that maybe me stepping on the carpet created a vibration to move the closet, but I've been working there for a long time. I've cleaned that room 1,000 times and that has never happened. But it was literally really fast, and I just looked at it and I was like, what the fuck? And my first thought was, someone is there in that closet, because how the hell would it move on its own? So this is the video right after. That closet door just popped open. I was standing right here looking at this blanket, and it just popped open like how it is right now. Why does this keep happening to me? I don't understand. I told these stories to my sister, and she literally said that when she was a young teenager, she would welcome any spirits into the house just to see what would happen. Specifically saying, if anyone wants to come and say hi, you're allowed to. Which you should never do, because that invites everyone, even the bad spirits. That was probably around the time when I was still in middle school and I had that phase where I was freaked out by everything. In my room, I have curtains on my window, and I was scared of people looking through. Even when they were closed, I was scared of people looking through the little slit between the window and the wall. So I would pin the curtains to my wall. Like, if this was closed, I was scared of someone looking through this space, so I would pin it to my wall. I'm not even kidding. I would literally cry and freak out every single night, and I would have nightmares every single night because I was scared that someone was going to get me while I was asleep. Later in life, about sophomore year, I also developed severe anxiety, so it could have just been like early signs of that, but I think it's a coincidence that my sister was doing that around the time that happened. I also find it weird that all of the paranormal things that happen in this house are always in this room. This is the office reserved for my dad, so maybe my dad has like a family member that likes to follow him around or something like that. But because I had something happen at my uncle's Airbnb, maybe something is attached to me. This would make a lot of sense because I do love paranormal things and I do welcome good spirits into my life to follow me around if they wanted to. In my first video, you can see some of my dolls that I have and how I said that I wished that they were haunted. I have a lot of those, and also everything in my bedroom is thrifted, so it really could have came from any of those. Or who knows, maybe the ghost that is attached to my dad and attached to the office is the one that's following me around. Also, during that period where I was really terrified of everything and I couldn't sleep at night, I was having nightmares every single night, and I told my parents about it. I would literally come into my mom's room crying, which I don't think was even a kid thing. It was just me being terrified, because at that time I was like 11 or 12, so too old to be going into my mom's room crying and waking her up. But the nightmares literally wouldn't stop. So my mom gave me this hippo. She really loves hippos. She has so many hippo things, and this one's really special to me because she gave it to me to make me feel better, and ever since I sleep with it every single night and all of the nightmares stopped. So this is Baby. You'll probably see him a lot because he's my favorite stuffed animal. But yeah, I guess that kind of sums up all of my stories. I only wanted to share the sleep paralysis one, but then all of those things also happened. Also, it's 4:38. I always see, it just changed, but I always see the number 38 everywhere. I don't know if it's like a placebo effect, but it's just weird that when I was filming it was 4:38. Honestly, I hope more paranormal things happen to me because it'd be a good story to tell, and also I would love it. Me and my sister are thinking about going to Indiana because there's a haunted like asylum there, so maybe in the future I can record that. But yeah, love you guys, whoever is watching, and I send good vibes your way and no bad spirits.
Bye!
Because you know you watch those like conspiracy theories and people are barking. I mean...